There we go. It's working now. Oh no, it's not. Shit. Having some technical difficulties here. No, is it working? Okay. Um. Uh. Sorry for the shady connection problems. It's not a good start for a video like this. Um. Welcome, good comrades, brothers and sisters, into this stream of mourning. We had we gotta pay great respect to the comrades of the street of Arizona. But before we get into the tidings of that, what's it? I think it would be um uh, sorry, I can't English very well. I'm really nervous with situations like this. So, we're dealing with the lost lives of great comrades, and this it, it it it's heartbreaking, and it's hard to talk about without breaking down and falling to pieces. Especially what not so much about how this means to me, but holding the heart of my Jewish brother in my hands as it bleeds because of the trauma of um of losing all of their comrades, all of their brethren, lost, massacred, and a massacre that they missed by the blink of their eye, and it weighs on their shoulders like tons of bricks. So I feel we should spend 2 minutes now and a 2 minutes dedication of silence before we talk any further on into this video. I would find it disgusting for anyone to skip past this 2 minutes of silence. Commit to it. Show some respect. You might not know these people, but these people were blessed revolutionary fighters and were fighting for the people and were massacred on the day of a wedding in a sacred place, a synagogue. So, here we go. Red salute. Red salute and respect. May their martyrs rest in power. We must show all solidarity and respect we can to our fallen comrades, our fallen brethren. Martyrs never die, they are immortalized by history. Absolutely, brother. Absolutely. And it's the loss of their capacity to engage in the livelihood that a lot of us don't take for granted. Their sacrifice that they make for the struggle, for the people, for the continuation of our existence and the existence of the earth that we be blessed to walk upon, Mother Earth. Those people immortalize themselves in the hearts, souls, and minds of men and women fighting for what's right, fighting for their damn right, standing up to be counted, standing up for their right. We must be dedicated to the plight and struggle of the oppressed all over. Yet the Jewish people get short shafted all the fucking time. Whether it's Zionism that's being used against them, whether it's traditional white European chauvinism being attacked them, or the commitment to white European chauvinism that their own people, Jewish people, will do against them. A lot of Jewish petty bourgeois types are really abusive like this towards Jewish people. And it's anti-Semitic. This comes in similarly to the contradiction that Arabs find themselves in. One of the biggest things that turns Arab and Jewish comrades off from. I'm not even on about being a communist, because it doesn't really push them off being that entirely, because there's loads of people who will still be a communist, have a problem with what I'm saying. It pushes them off. Sorry, I'm going all the way into the red zone. It pushes them off wanting to engage in wanting to engage with European communists, because European communists innately end up being, for the most part, not all, but for the most part, Islamophobic, Arabophobic, or Orientalist, or whatever word you want to use for the Orient. But in the current state, it is the dominant ideology in the Orient is anti-Arab, anti-Assyrian, and other small groups that I'm not very good to name on, and anti-Armenian too. But you know what I mean. Like, the sphere is centered around the European model of colonization, which then utilizes the Turkic model over there. But I mean, the struggle of Arab and Jewish people is nasty, and anti-theists, yeah, people who think that because they're an atheist that they can start destroying everyone else's theists. When if you're like, when they say atheist is supposed to be like apolitical. Like, it's supposed to mean you don't really, you don't really give a shit. Yet modern day atheists are just as bad as 1800s atheists, where they have to attack and demoralize and debaucherize everything that they can regarding religion. They have to destroy it, not disprove it, destroy it. And that mentality just turns Jews and Muslims way off. They don't want anything to do with that. And then you have the Arab phobia, the Islamophobia, and the in general anti-Semitism towards Arabs and Jewish people, and like, anti-Semitism towards Jewish people isn't just like anti-Ashkenazim or anti-Mizrahi. That's a big problem of it, but that comes more into the ethno-colonial issues that regard me talking of these people as anti-Semitic in the sense of, Semitic in the sense of ethnicity, while the Jewish problem as well also extends into the people who are anti-Jewish religion. And there's a really big chauvinism from Marxism regarding the Jewish religion that causes a trauma response. Like, most comrades that I've engaged with that are Jewish socialists feel fucking traumatized by the way Marxists have treated them. And you know, I shouldn't use the word feel. They have been traumatized by it. Like I feel like I'm devaluing their position. They have been traumatized by their interactions with Marxists. Their struggles, their plights. They have been watered down by these Marxists who think they know more than these folk. It's been satirized with disrespect. Um, Atheist churches are a thing now. Like I keep seeing it on the screen and keep going back and reading it. And I'm like, wait, what? That's I guess that's like half of the Anglican Protestantism. uh, I mean, the Zionists are both atheists, but also claim that God gave them land. So there is that conundrum. But no, these great martyrs, they were laying shit down. They were building up connections. They were not just, it's not just about the struggle of Arizona here. We had comrades in this group of people that lost their lives that had great connections to the Syrian struggle. Great connections. These people had knowledge on the matters of struggle on a colonial imperial basis, looking at the different structures of hegemony, coming from different backgrounds and different positions, that brought a greater consolidation on how we look at the most specifically the Orient. And these comrades were also pathologizing the contradictions that the Jewish movement faces itself, putting things into a perspective that might have actually, hell if especially people like fucking Marianne managed to reach their conclusions, managed to get to the end of what they were driving through this struggle, what they were trying to state about the Jewish movement, the Jewish socialist struggle, and what it actually means, what Marxists have failed to understand, and etc. Would have actually maybe have drummed into the Marxist head that we need to be less anti-Semitic towards Jewish people, and less anti-Semitic on a whole. The way that Marxists look at Arabs, and the way that a lot of first world Marxists will equate people who are Muslim to being Arab, like people who are Muslim in like Central Asia and shit like that, and think of them as Muslim. It does show a great Western chauvinism regarding the Orient, and this ties into the struggles of these great martyrs. These great martyrs were people who were struggling against this Orientalism that has bastardized the Jewish and the Jewish and the Arab people and the Islamic people. Because even Islamic people who aren't of the Orient, they have to deal with this shit because they're slapped in as an Oriental, to use the disgusting vocabulary they use, savages and shit like that. The fact that we still throw around the word savages like it's fucking a cream pie to a clown, like it's nothing, should show you the despotic state of culture in this society, and why we have to be careful of the interaction with anyone who's a first world aristocrat and up, especially those who are first world petty bourgeoisie, because they are integrated and macinated and by this culture. Like it's a part of how they organize and think in the world, regardless of how much they're trying to go against it as a communist. It's a core basis to how they think and operate in the world. And this great chauvinism infects these people's minds. And that's where you'll get comrades who'll try and do all they can to disregard the martyrdom, the sacrifice, and the unneedy deaths that these people faced at the hands of Nazis, with help from the police system, who escorted them to the synagogue to do the shooting in white vans, who helped remove any evidence that they could, who fucking beat Comrade Net when he went in there trying to take pictures and was recording stuff, and they smashed his fucking phone and fucking attacked the geezer, attacked the comrade. He still did what he could to stand for himself and protect the evidence that they were gathering because of the graffiti and the abuse that had been done to that synagogue. Uh, the just really breaks my heart with these people. Like they crush they crush the sorry, I'm losing my train of thought. Um, they crush um they crush the plights and struggles of these martyrs. They they demoralize the sacrifices these martyrs have had to make for the people, and they turn around and do all they can, not just to bastardize these martyrs, but to use it as a segue to bastardize the people of struggle. If it's not the martyrs of Arizona they're bastardizing, if it's not the people who are still alive doing struggle in Arizona they're bastardizing, it's many other struggles for many other things. This is an example, not the contingent of all interactions on this basis. People must keep that in mind. But it's still the case. When it comes to the Arizonan struggle, people will bastardize it any way they can. And whatever they can do to bastardize the struggle of the Bundes, the struggle of the Jewish people, they will do that. Not only do they disregard the struggles of the Arizonan martyrs, and sometimes even disregard their fucking existence. I've had that happen to me on a couple of occasions, and it's made me go fucking mental because it's an utter disrespect of the plight and struggles of these people, treating them like a polemic, not a people who fucking were murdered in cold blood during a fucking wedding by fascist sex traffickers who were working with the police. These people will turn around and play with them like they're a fucking polemic. These people are not a fucking polemic. These people were great fucking revolutionaries that lost their lives in the fucking struggle. They lost their lives in the struggle. You do not disregard their livelihood. No matter what position you hold, no matter what disagreements you have, you do not disregard their struggle. That is to throw in your support. Throw your hat in with the fascists who murdered them. Respect, brother. Welcome. Great heart, love, and respect, man. Shit, man. We've been going for the last, since Jason. And I was in a voice chat with Jason the day you released the video first talking about this massacre, when he was stressing because of the situation that it put everyone in. Like it really geared the whole situation in Arizona up. Yeah, mate, balling on the Wi-Fi, nice. And so I remember speaking with Jason just after he uploaded the first video on the Arizona struggle, and the distraught nature that Jason found himself in, and the tears it brought me to hearing about the loss of these lives, hearing about the hearing that the fascists had managed to massacre men, women, and children in cold blood, just as easy as that. What's it? This shit. Sorry, I remember where I was going. My brain fog's bad enough on a normal day when it comes to really hard and depressive and traumatizing shit. The stress just makes it hard to focus sometimes. But Jason, I was engaging him from the start on this situation when everything started to blow up. It's been 3 years now. 3 years to this day. We lost them blessed lovers, brothers and sisters. 3 years we have been trying to push this shit out to people, to tell people, to let them know. 3 motherfucking years. And I'm still at this point where on the video where I'm doing solidarity, I'm still having to get angry at the fact that it's not that people aren't just hearing it. That would be one thing. People are refusing to accept it, are playing polemics with it, are treating it like it's another part of the game of fucking top Trump politics, debate bro bullshit. And then they throw in all their capacity to insult the Bundists, to insult the great Jewish revolutionaries, to insult the great native revolutionary people who want to fight for freedom, the great decolonization movement that is starting to rumble and crack across America. There's a reason why white Americans are becoming more anti-decolonization. They're becoming more colonial minded, is because decolonization is becoming the trend in native circles, because they've been fucking constantly, non-stop for hundreds of years now being abused. And every time that they come to a point where they're ready to go and fucking stand against you, you either white boy them out and try and fucking offer all the concessions you can in the world to try and control them for that way, or you physically destroy their struggle and control those whom you can keep weak enough to keep under your boot through starvation, through crushing of their industry, through more seizure of their land, repression of their capacity to engage in society, and a destruction of their culture. This activity is done not just in the native people in the context of decolonization, but it is done in the context of the Jewish people and their right as a diaspora nation in struggle, and the confines to which they have found themselves due to the oppression of anti-Semitism. We are in a precipice of shit at the moment. The first world is a mess. We are not properly organized. We are barely doing anything for the people. The orgs that do things for the people get insulted by MLs who are armchairs, who don't want to do anything about anything, and they just want to insult the people who are actually doing shit for people. And then we have loads of people who are milking money off people and doing all that and the other. Do you know what these martyrs were doing? Do you know what the natives are still doing in Arizona? Do you know what the fucking the last standing Bundist of Arizona is doing? You know what the anarchists of Arizona are doing? Supporting the people. When you disregard the Arizonan struggle, the multipolar intercommunal struggle of motherfucking Arizona, you don't just disregard the thick shit they do for the people. You don't just disregard the shit they do for the people. You disrespect and disregard the struggle of the lumpen proletariat, the struggle of the Native American peoples, the Turtle Island Native peoples, and you disregard the struggle of the Jewish people. You disregard anarchists, not just their struggle, because their struggle is the struggle of socialism. To disregard them, you are disregarding the struggle of socialism. You disregard anarchists in the sense that you disregard them to be the same as the petty bourgeois anarchists, who I just call neo-feudalists really, because it's the most suitable name for them. The neo-feudalists of latter century that claim to be anarchists, and all the internet anarchists that follow those footsteps because they're just a bunch of petty bourgeois children. Would you like it if I turned around and lensed Marxism-Leninism through the lens of online kids that call themselves tankies? No, you wouldn't. Don't do the same for anarchism. Don't do the same to Arizona's struggle. But when you disregard the struggle of Arizona, the center point of radical action in America, both from the right and the left, you're disregarding the heated areas of struggle. You think Texas is heated. Sorry. You think Texas is heated. You think Texas is the is the um is the precipice of reaction and of revolution, that both the hard left and hard right could rise there. It could. I wouldn't disagree with you. But you know what? Arizona makes Texas look like fucking Minnesota. Arizona is the place in America where they test fucking fascism. It's the twilight zone of America. It's the little sandbox where they get to do all their fascist policy implementations first. You motherfuckers don't know, because you don't listen to the people of the street before you go and judge them. You just think about them of off the street. You think about them of Jewish. You think about them of native, and you disregard them. The amount of people who have tried to frame Net as being a Jewish controller of MRN, Morpinites, who've tried to claim that because Net's involved with Engelslister, because Net's involved with Jason, that they're quote controlled by the Jews, end quote. I've seen these comments on Jason and Engels' YouTube videos. I ain't fucking speaking from what they've told me, although they have told me about this. I'm speaking from what I might have fucking observed. And if you're going to take precipice to be anti-lumpen, anti-Semitic in the regards to the Arizona struggle alone, why would I believe that you would not do that elsewhere? I have no reason to believe that it would be an isolated incident, do I? If anything, if I'm to be dialectically materialist, you know, that fucking, a dialectical materialist, these fucking words are all mealy-mouthy. If I am to be a dialectical materialist on principle, philosophy, it's a philosophical principle of Marxism, the core principle of our analytical and scientific engagements with reality itself. It's universal, so it is a core principle to the literal every point of engagement. There is no middle ground on principle. If I'm to apply a dialectical materialist lens to the situation, I must acknowledge the fact that this would not be a contained incident, because they have taken the capacity to abuse the struggle of the lumpen proletariat, the Jewish people and the native people and the anarchists of Arizona, the Maoists of Arizona, the MLs, although they're very few. We don't have many MLs in Arizona, but the MLs of Arizona, you disregard those people, you throw them down the drain. You're using that situation to take advantage to do that, and you're not even giving them credence, giving them respect, looking at what they're saying as comrades and coming to a comradely conclusion. You're dismissing them, throwing them away, and it seems like it's taking advantage of the situation as a polemic to disregard the lumpen proletariat, the communist and socialist orgs that fight for the lumpen proletarian struggle, and the colonized struggle, and the communist and socialist orgs that are fighting for the colonized struggle. The disregard of the Jewish people as a whole, and the native people of Turtle Island as a whole. There is no middle ground on principle. You are either on principle for the struggle of the oppressed or not. Make your fucking mind up. We have no room for opportunistic game players in our struggle. Either get the fuck out or be on principle and learn from the people who are going through the hardest shit. Give respect to the people who lost their lives for the freedom of their people. Show some fucking respect. Call yourself communists. Call yourself socialists. Call yourself revolutionaries. And then when people are massacred in a synagogue with aid from the fucking police, massacred in a synagogue by AR-15, and you show absolutely no respect. You go out of your way to disrespect the death of these martyrs. You go out of your way to shit on their grave. I'm lost for words at how disgraceful it is. Anyone who is committed to that tendency, anyone who has gone out of their way to savage my native, my Jewish, my lumpenprole brothers and sisters, my Jewish socialist, native socialist, the true patriotic socialists, those who are colonized and oppressed, like Danke said the other day. My communist and anarchist comrades. That was all joined together with the Jewish socialist and native. I did a break because I over-explained something. My native socialist, my Jewish socialist, my communist and anarchist comrades. We must come together and understand that for people to savage and disregard these people's struggles that I just listed, to throw down our struggles, my brothers and sisters, my comrades, to throw them away and disrespect them, disgrace them, use them as a polemic, play games with them, ignore the plights and pleas of people tied to this struggle, asking for it to be spoken about because it's an important news piece and needs to be dissected and discussed, to be ignored at every fucking corner. Those people that savaged and disgraced and disregarded, those people are not comrades. A comrade does not savage, disgrace, and disregard the struggle of other comrades. That's not on. If you're going to disregard a comrade, you prove that they are not a comrade. And then you disregard the positions based on why are they not a comrade and what is it they're doing is not a comrade. When you're disregarding comrades and you're not proving to me why they're not comrades, you're not proving to me why this, that, or the other, it's not on. Just on the basis of disregarding a living comrade. We're also not talking about dead comrades that are martyrs and are really important to brethren. Really important to brothers and sisters. That's what brethren means, just for those who don't understand. It's a Christian word. When you're dealing with a situation like this, let's say even if there was a problem with these comrades, you can't come at it in this disrespectful, bombastic, savage manner. First worlders love to call the third worlders savage. It's first world aristocrats and petty bourgeoisie that are real fucking savages. They're going to savage these people. As what, criticism? Is that what you think criticism is? Like joking, taking the piss, claiming they don't exist. These are phantom people. This is that. You think that's criticism? Do you pat on the back? Think you're a good communist? Because you're not. You think you're a good socialist? Because you're not. You ain't shit. You ain't shit but scum. Because even if you were going to come at this, you have to take respect for the fact that these people are dead. You have to come at it from an angle of respect. We're dealing with comrades. We're dealing with people that if you've got a problem with these people, it's disagreements, not a sectarian situation. So at the end of the day, I'm just trying to get where I'm going to be gaslit on this, because even though this is a quick because I don't want to ruin the essence of how this needs to be pushed about. So I don't want to go over the hour mark because I imagine that might make it less watchable for people, and people need to watch this and really think about this. But the sorry, I lost myself then because I was getting too conscientious about my streaming habits because I don't like throwing people off my videos. When they're this important. Sorry, that's what I was saying. Even though this video is like a just a stream to show my solidarity, respect, and love for the comrades of the streets that martyrdom now that went through. Sorry, I can't English. That are martyrs of their struggle, that were massacred by fascists, Nazis, literal Nazis, working with the fascist police force of America. I'm still going to be gaslit, so I'm just trying to ensure that it's really well understood here that there are actual avenues if they were even fucking necessary, which I don't think they are. Not in this situation. Like, and what I mean is that it's not. I do still mean it's necessary to criticize people. Don't fucking gaslight me again. I'm onto you bastards. What I'm saying is that these comrades, this type of like needing to find a respectful way to dismiss them is still not necessary. I've read bits of works of these comrades. I've discussed extensively with my fucking brother in faith on this. And the way that I can conclude this is that those comrades had a very, very solid line on Bundism as Bundists. Some of them being Maoist inclined Bundists and ML inclined Bundists too. It wasn't just like Bundism is not like it's not like Marxism where they're like, oh, there's a different line. Okay, well, kick that out. They're like, okay, how do we look at these different lines and come up with an idea that makes our one line, the conglomerate what's coming forward. So there was a mix of different Bundists working together in this. These Bundists had very solid lines, and I found very little I disagree with. So if I was coming at the disagreement with them, it actually would be very petty and very small, and more so about semantics than anything and rhetoric. So it's like, and even if it was a bit more than that, what I'm saying is it still would be less than having to do dismissal and disregard like people have been doing. So it's when you're coming at it, even with what I'm saying, and I'm giving all this like contingent of like, okay, well, this is not even fair dismissal. There is no capacity to fairly dismiss. That's why they're not doing fair dismissal. Like, really think about it. They're not doing fair dismissal because they don't want to fucking do fair dismissal. And there is no fair dismissal. What they want to do is they want to disregard and disgrace. People need to share this fucker around. Get it about to people. You need to talk to people about our lost brothers and sisters of Arizona. Share around my testimonies of the Comrades of the Street of Arizona video from my YouTube, and my video on quote, Arizona is a twilight state, end quote. Sorry, Arizona is the twilight state of America. I got it wrong. My hair keeps fucking tickling on my nose, man. Need to get this shit around. We need to show our solidarity to the plights of these people's struggles as much as humanly possible. It's I'm sorry I keep breaking into stutters. This shit just really fucking. I come from a very toxic masculine household, so all my energy is being devoted to trying not to fucking cry on the camera. So, the The thing is making me stammer like crazy. Sorry, I can't speak. Uh, um, God bless the people's struggles of Arizona and rest in power these great fallen martyrs. I really, really, really hope people start to open their eyes and start showing the respect that the people who have lost their lives for the freedom of others. Because that's not freedom they themselves get to enjoy, get to endure, and get to enjoy. They lost their lives for the freedom of others. Definitively what makes them a martyr. Maybe people should consider the paramount importance to putting your life out for the freedom of others. Being a truly revolutionary suicidal individual, one who knows that you must keep the flag going on to the next comrade, but you must be ready to die by that flag. You want to raise the flag of freedom? Well, you have to know that the flag of freedom will have you die by freedom. That is the way. So if you stand by freedom, like we all want to here, we all want to stand by freedom. Well, you must know those who are against freedom will take your life if they can. If they can get away with it and they can do it, they will take your life. They will crush you down. They will squash your rebellion. You know, it goes as the old Irish idiom goes. I say old, it's quite recent actually, but it's from, I think it's, I can't remember if it's from the 90s or the 2000s, but, um, you know, in the Irish Rebellion, one must think of Bobby Sands. For the British, she crushed their rebellion. If you are not careful, she will also crush yours. That goes back all the way to the Irish Socialist Republic of 1916. Your rebellion will be crushed by her. Now, the Irish Socialist Republic stood by arms to fight for its right. The idiom I'm getting into is Bobby Seals. Bobby Seals? Sorry, I'm confusing people. Bobby Sands. Bobby Sands. Hunger strike and the movement that he was inspiring and pushing. Oh, sorry, yeah, the whole thing is they'll beat you like they beat Bobby Sands. It's getting more into there wasn't enough teeth to that side of struggle. It was too peaceful with the enemy, but it's just the point that I'm getting at with this is that you've got to think about what the empires do to freedom, no matter how peaceful it is. That's what that idiom is getting into with Comrade Bobby Sands, is that martyrdom, that sacrifice was the rebellion it inspired. That what it committed to was crushed by the British, because what came from it was not didn't come forward with the necessary strength to succeed in its revolutionary ambitions. Sorry, I'm mincing my words. I mean that they weren't aggressive enough. In a sense, aggressive would be the wrong word, because an oppressed group isn't aggressive. They're fighting against aggression, because the aggression is sourced to the aggressor. Only the aggressor is the commitment of aggression in that right. Aggression is an oppressive means of action, not an anti-oppressive means of action. But you know what I mean. Anger, righteous anger, in an offense structure. So more. I mean, that's it. A more offensive structure to the struggle. You're gonna stand by freedom. You know, the biggest commitment we all make as communists and as socialists and as revolutionaries and as anti-colonists is, if you want to choose to stand by the freedom of the people, you want to choose to stand by freedom like we have, like we all have, then we all of us have to remember that we have committed to die by that freedom. Always remember our lost martyrs across the globe, from the furthest east of Asia to the furthest west of Turtle Island, from the furthest north to the furthest north of the Arctic to the furthest south of the Antarctic. We must remember the struggles of martyrs all the time. Hold them in your heart, your soul, and mind. And we must show our solidarity to the loss of these martyrs and to what their loss entails, their commitment to struggle and what they mean. We must hold true to the struggles of the colonized and the oppressed. We must keep steadfast in our dedication to their struggle. We are for the oppressed, and the only way we will succeed is by the leadership of those like myself, my brother Nat, and the Jewish diaspora, the Native American diaspora, the Native American, let me just write down, the native peoples of Turtle Islands, the native nations of Turtle Island, here we go, this is where I meant to say diaspora again, I'm nailing it, the African diaspora, the lumpen proletarian, like I said with me, the lumpen proletarians, and that's all across the world, not just first world lumpen. You got to look to the lumpen proletariat internationally, the proletariat internationally. These are oppressed groups and peoples. Their leadership of the struggle, of the organizations, and they should be the only leaders of the organizations, the only ones to dominate the organs of power, will bring the success of the revolution. To stand against that, to get in the way of that, will be counter-revolutionary. This is a change that will and must happen, and it's gonna. Trust me, it's gonna fucking happen. Do not forget the struggles of these great revolutionaries, or I'll fucking have you. Red salute, brothers and sisters. Please, please, please show all your love and solidarity in the comments and share this video about, like, I don't want to hear any bullshit. I don't want to hear any offensive shit being slung against my native Jewish, my native Turtle Islanders, my African diaspora, my street Maoists, my street anarchists, my street Bundists, my street Turtle Island socialists. I don't want to hear shit like that. I don't want to hear anyone slandering them or throwing shade. Get out. Fuck off. Show some love and respect for my comrades who have done more for struggle than you have. You've got a salient point of criticism as well. I don't want to shade you guys. If you've got a salient point of criticism, do it in my Discord server. Come at me with it. Like, I mean, you could leave it in the comments of this video, but please just, this isn't the time for that. This isn't the time and the place. I want all the criticism of anything you have a problem with, of any comrade. That's what we always do. Criticize, criticize, criticize. But this is mourning. This is respect being paid to these people. don't stress, because it really stresses out the Jewish socialists when they're having to deal with the a lot of the time ignorant criticisms that come at them, and it's not most of it's not always like that, but white people mostly are like that, and my salient critiques, my salient comrades who are like that, you understand that it's like that. I know I'm preaching to the choir here, but I have to make sure that I don't offend or hurt those comrades who are salient still, but I'm not preaching to the choir on, and they don't get it, because there's no such thing as common sense. I'm not common sensing you guys. I'm just saying, I know I'm preaching to the choir a bit here, but at the end of the day, there's plenty of videos I've talked about the Bundists. There's plenty of videos I've talked about all this, that, and the other. And I have a Discord server and a Twitter. You can critique them there too. Don't tarnish this video. But I'm not going to stop salient critiques. I'm not going to get in the way with that. And I'm not going to lampoon you for it, because it's salient and it's respectful. But I'm telling you, really, this is not the place for it. The only thing I really want to see in that comment section is love and solidarity for not just the martyrs lost in this struggle, but those who are lost to martyrdom, for the thousands of years that we've been struggling for freedom as a people. Martyrdom is very important to our archetypical and romantic understandings of how we engage the struggle, where we position ourselves, and they really help with aristocrats committing to class suicide. The archetype of Che Guevara as a class suicidal individual is that big inspirer that drives aristocrats to literally become direct followers of the lumpen proletariat. Like, you tell them jump, they'll say how high, to the point where you feel afraid of how much fucking power they've given you over them. Like, they will commit to the struggle. These martyrs are so fucking important, and if anyone is a great example of a martyr, it is Comrade Che Guevara. A man who appears in every fucking country, spray painted everywhere. Hell, there's a telephone box in Liverpool that I saw near the John Lennon Airport that has Che Guevara on it, that was put up there by a councilwoman for the government. They put up a spray paint. Was it? No, it was a poster that was integrated into the phone box, and it was a picture of Che Guevara with, "I would rather stand up and die for my freedom than spend my life on my knees as a slave." On the Wailing Wall, on the Palestinian side, I say the Palestinian side, both sides are Palestinian, you know what I mean, on the area that is the, I think it's Gaza that borders the Wailing Wall. In Gaza, on the Wailing Wall, you have a picture, 20 foot tall, spray painted in socialist realist art, of Comrade Che Guevara standing tall. He is an inspiration to struggle around the world of any class. Lumpen proletarians, we fucking love him. Maoists, we fucking love him. I've been saying with my Maoist comrades, we should be claiming him as a proto-Maoist, because the guy was really more on his way towards us than he was towards the ML position, both at the time and still to this day. These martyrs are so damn important. And do you know what? In this situation, these ones might not be to you and your struggles. Do you know who they are really fucking important to? The Jewish socialists and their struggles. And damn will you fucking get in the way of their martyrs. It is something I refuse to allow. On principle. What's it? 1 second. Sorry, I was having a brain fart moment then. So you got to understand the importance of these martyrs to the Jewish people and their socialist struggle. And how dare you ever try and take that away from them? How dare anyone try and take that away from these people, these beautiful comrades? Rest in power, great martyrs, not just of this horrific massacre, but those great martyrs through history who stood for our right, stood for our freedom, and died by that sword. God bless the lumpen proletariat. God bless the Jewish socialists and the Jewish people. God bless the Turtle Island socialists and the Turtle Island peoples. God bless the African socialists of the American diaspora and the African people of the American diaspora and the African people in general and the African socialist movement. But I have to be specific here because I'm trying to relate this to the struggle in America regarding this. But this does go out to all of the African struggle and the Pan-African movement and what it represents, what it means. Globally, this is big shit when we look at these archetypes and these struggles and we look at the wider martyrs of all of this. God bless all these people. God bless the international lumpen proletariat struggle. God bless the international struggle for socialism, for diaspora and oppressed colonial groups. God bless the Pan-African struggle, the Pan-Arab struggle. God bless the Maoists across the world that are fighting against fascism. And absolutely, God bless the Palestinian people in their plight and their fight against Zionism and their struggle to be free. From the land up to the sea, Palestine will be free. And that's the same for Turtle Island. That is the same for the entire continent of Africa, the entire continent of Asia, the entire continent of Europe, the entire, supercontinent of the what we have so horrifically called the Americas. This is the process of history. This is the process. The process has already occurred. This is the conclusion of history, of class, of where it ends. Either we ourselves will dismantle it for the struggle and for freedom, and we will build the socialist system, or its detractors and its protectors will keep putting the system on the life support until there is no life support for us as people, while this machine can still keep going, and we all die off as a race, as the human race. All of us as a species gone, and the planet is left and survives, yet we will be leaving the world with ruins and continuous, there'll be mass production machines that have been set up. They'll be still producing stuff after we've all been eradicated by the environment because of mass production of the what's the word, mechanized productive sectors. I can't think of the word for it, but I'm stumbling over and I keep failing to end, even though I had two really strong endings there and I should have gone with my strong endings. But all love and solidarity to the oppressed peoples of the world. Red salute, brothers and sisters, and show all respect and solidarity to my Jewish comrades in the chat, please. The more I love, the better in this dying time where the plight of the oppressed is being minimized by white folk more and more as time goes on, as things go by. Red salute, brethren.